If you're one of several Americans who have privacy concerns about using public Wi-Fi or giving your cell phone number out, our next guest may put your mind at ease. Shira Ovide is the writer of the Tech Friend newsletter at The Washington Post. So what would you say are the biggest tech fears that people should stop worrying about, and why?
So I'll list a couple. I think the biggest one that people worry about is that using Wi-Fi, connecting your phone or your computer to Wi-Fi outside of your home in places like hotels or airports or coffee shops, many people believe that that's unsafe, that that's basically an invitation to crooks to steal everything that they're doing. And that used to be true, and now it's not true. And for most of us, in nearly all circumstances, it's fine. It's perfectly safe to use the public Wi-Fi when you need to connect outside of your home.
Okay, so then sorry, go ahead. I'll do my follow-up.
And then the other one I was going to mention, which is related, is that there have been lots of warnings from law enforcement and security people, including recently, not to use phone chargers, again, in public places like malls and airports. And this is one of these concerns that drives me a little bit crazy, because I talked to a couple of security experts who said this is mostly a theoretical risk, that they know of no actual people who got their, computers or phones totally hijacked from using a public phone charger. So again, for most of us, most of the time, it's fine if you're at an airport, you're running out of juice on your phone, you need to plug it into a phone charger that's in one of those, charging ports.
So what I was going to ask you is, sometimes you get on like public Wi-Fi and you see you get a notice that says this is an unsecure Wi-Fi network. And I see unsecure as unsafe.
Yeah, right.
No security guard, no tech security guard at the gate. What does that mean then?
Usually that means it's just anybody can use it without having to know the password.
Okay.
And look, let's all use common sense. If you see a Wi-Fi network on the subway and it says like John's FBI Wi-Fi network, don't connect to that. Just use your common sense. But look, if you're at Starbucks, right, or a hotel or some other relatively reputable business, the reality right now is that most of the websites and apps that we use are encrypted, which means that anything that flows back and forth from what you're doing and what's happening on the other side is scrambled. So even if somebody could snoop on you, could virtually oversee what you're doing, it would just be gibberish for the most part. So again, it's not a zero risk, particularly if you know you're a target for sort of government spies or other kinds of snooping. If you're, as I said in my article, if you're Brad Pitt, if you're Edward Snowden, maybe don't use the public Wi-Fi at Starbucks. But if you're the rest of us, it's generally fine.
Okay.
So what about these QR codes that we are increasingly, I find it really funny. Is this going to sound like I'm an old man?
Here we go.
That when I want...
It's not the way to start.
All right. That I go into a restaurant and I would like a menu to peruse, as opposed to having to look at this dirty table and take open my camera up. But there are people who are concerned about these QR codes. Other than the fuddy-duddiness in me, should people be concerned from a tech standpoint?
Generally, no, don't worry about it. Again, I totally understand that these things are annoying. You open up an app and it's like you have a 1 millimeter screen to enter your credit card number. That's very annoying. That's mostly about sort of bad technology implementation of QR codes. But I think the general concern people have is the worry that here's this mysterious thing that I point my camera to and it opens a web link on my phone, right? And again, use your common sense. If you're in a dive bar restroom and you see a QR code, again, don't click on that. Use your common sense. But if you're at a reputable restaurant, if your friend is sending you a QR code to send them money on Venmo, it's really okay. It is true that restaurants and other places, they do use the signals from QR codes to sort of try to connect the dots between, this phone scanned this QR code, and a week ago, this same phone saw a promotion for this restaurant on Instagram. So it seems like that Instagram ad worked. Right. So those are the kinds of things that do happen. But again, that's not really about the safety and privacy of QR codes. That's about the privacy or the lack of privacy protections for Americans, period. So if you're concerned about that, be mad about America's out of control data arms race. The QR code is not the problem. Those are generally safe, although again, use your common sense. Don't scan random ones in bathrooms.
I've never seen a random code in a bathroom, and now I'm so curious,
like
but I'm afraid.
nervous.
I'm afraid.
But also, I'll be on the lookout, Shira, for John's FBI Wi-Fi to make sure.
If the Wi-Fi says I am a scammer,
Right, you're right. I have.
don't jump on that one. Shira Ovide, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.